Mama Africa, your children are home.
So we gotta teach our children at school not to be called them to be called white or whatever the term that they call people, to reject it, because that.
So no, this is my name. Because I mean, imagine like our children in school, and let's say every single day they keep saying, "Oh Muzungu, oh hi Muzungu, oh good morning Muzungu." You know, every single day it's like they're not gonna feel like they're treated like people. They're gonna feel like they're treated as some stereotype, some group, some whatever. And it's like, you don't even know my name yet. We've been in school for how many weeks now, and you don't know my name?
Yeah,
like that's awful.
And there are other kids who'll be like, do they have two heads? Why are they being called Muzungu when we know the terms? What that means? It means they're, they're high up there. They're so no.
And this isn't even talking about the terms, right? Because the terms, they could be fairly neutral. Like Muzungu literally means wanderer. It comes from the first explorers who were light-skinned from Europe, and they said, "Oh, Muzungu, like a person who runs around everywhere, wanderer," right? So it's not even that big of a deal. Oyinbo, we're not sure where that came from.
I don't know.
Nigeria.
I don't know.
But then in the US, they're more negative, right? Like black, white, blackie, whitey, whatever. All these terms they're very negative, right? For the most part. But it doesn't even matter about the terms, right? It's just the fact that these things are being used, and they're being used to call people. Like imagine in this case, imagine if it's something more neutral, right? Imagine if someone, maybe an African, is living in the UK or the US or something like Germany. And let's say, obviously if they're being called blackie, that sounds terrible, right?
Yeah.
But let's say they're called something more neutral, like African. Okay, so you're called African. Kids, children, adults, elderly people, children chasing after you in the street, smiling, open arms, saying, "Oh, African, we love Africans, African." Okay, great. Maybe the first moment you're like, okay, that's cool. Nice, I feel, welcomed. But then imagine that day in, day out, 10 times per day. The same people.
I mean, just put any nationality on there too. African. Asian, we call Asian every single day.
Oh, Asian.
Yeah,
let's say it has positive stereotypes. Asian,
Mexican,
African, Mexican. Let's say they have positive stereotypes, right? But
Hispanic.
Right. That's all of these terms, right? So imagine, right? Day in, day out. Just imagine that you're being called African. Hey, African. Hey, African. And you're like, after a while, you're like, these are my neighbors. They've known me for like a month now, and they still haven't stopped to ask me my name.
Right.
It's like, I feel almost like an animal that's in the zoo. And every time they walk by, they're like, lion. Oh, lion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I want to pet it. It's like, you get what I'm saying. It's not seeing them as human. It's seeing them as a category, as a label.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and that goes for every label.
Every label. Yeah.
Because we're all human.
Exactly. So in the demographics, before we actually finally left America, we will fill it out and put human race. If there's a spot for us to write your race, if not, we declined. I'm not any of these things. Oh, you didn't tell your story.
So I was doing a certain registration thing. I won't go into detail in the US. I had to do a background check. So we had a bit of bathroom break for Elena, but I was talking about my first background check.
So you went to the place.
Yeah, so I went there, and it was very funny. So first I put down, I didn't mark anything. Like with race, I just ignored that section, because usually it's optional. Yeah. They told me, it's not optional. It's not going into the system. The government, they want to know your race. They want to know this. And I said, okay, why do they need to know that? It shouldn't matter. They see my photo. They see what And they're like, no, they need it. So I said, okay. So I marked everything. But dumb me, I marked even, both Hispanic and non-Hispanic. And they were like,
no, you can't be both.
Yeah, you can't be both.
To choose one.
Yeah, they're like, that's binary. Like, it has to be one or the other. I put that together, and I sent it through, and they were just like, what? And I was like, I don't believe in this crap. I was like, so I just marked everything. And they still couldn't get it. They were like,
But the one went
so he went back to his manager. Yeah, he went back to his manager, and they were whispering and looking out at me, and they were like, is he all of those? He could be. I mean, I don't know. Is he? And I was like, guys, I can hear you. I was like, listen, I don't believe in that crap. Like, it's BS. And the manager came out, he's like, well, I mean, it might flag it, just so you know. It might flag it because, it's on your birth certificate, all this kind of stuff. I was like, whoa, the hell it is. I was like, no, no, I know my birth certificate doesn't say anything about race, and it dang well better not say anything about race. I'm like, that's absolute BS. And they're like, no, I mean, it does. Like, that's how powerful it is, you know, in the US, that it's like, people are,
they believe that
they're
it
like,
is.
you can't change that,
Right.
you know? And even though we were told that our children, once they grow up, they can choose whatever race they want, it's not true.
They're not allowed
because
to.
even Trevor Noah, you said he did a video.
It did a video. He said he went to, is it one of those
When he first
places?
arrived in the US.
Yeah, to do this background, no, what do you call it? Demographics. They were asking about these demographics.
Wasn't it like immigration even or something?
I don't
Can't remember.
So they said it was, are you, which
So
one
he
do you
put-
choose?
he put down-
And he chose, there's African American or black, and then he said, you know what? This time I'm going to choose white. And then the lady at the counter would look at it and look at
So,
him.
but you
you
can't do that.
You can't do that.
And he realized, oh crap, this stuff is strong. Now that video has since been removed from the internet. You can't find it anywhere.
That's true.
Interestingly enough, now that he's been embraced by African American / Black culture, and it's not okay to do that, right? Because I mean, it's crazy that he could see that.
Yeah.
But then now he's just had to go along with it, I guess, for political and economic reasons. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, you cannot choose.
You can't choose.
Because of what? The history of the U.S.
The one-drop rule.
From slavery, right? One drop and you cannot be in white society, right?
can't.
Absolutely. But here's the thing, it's arbitrary, all of these things. But if you're in a certain country for a long time, you start to think that this is how things are, right? Humans are just naturally categorized like this. It's not natural, right?
No, it's not.
Because in the US, it's the one drop rule, right? Whether it's being accepted or rejected, it's one drop rule,
Yep.
right? You have even the tiniest bit of African in you, you have the tiniest curl in your hair, and they're like, you're black.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, oh, you're black like us, right? Either way, you're immediately categorized. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You have no choice. So that's how it is in the US. But you go to other places like Nigeria.
I mean, it's based on language. Nigeria is a big old melting pot. If you're able to speak the language, you could look Middle Eastern, you can look whatever you want to look. Even Pablo, when he went to Nigeria, they would say he was dressed in Nigeria attire. They were like, is he Fulani? Or is he, what did they say?
Yeah, is he Fulani?
He
must be Fulani.
So they don't care about the one. No, it's not a one-drop rule.
And then
thing.
if they hear me speaking Yoruba, they're like, you're Yoruba. Okay, awesome, right? Because there it's not based on the skin color, right? Because everyone is all different shades, you know, and they look all different. It's like you said, it's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot, yeah.
So it's based on language, right? There's lots of parts of Africa where it's based on language only.
Yeah.
And that is your ethnicity, right? It's based on language, and that can change, right? The next generation could speak a different language, and they're part of a different, group.
Yeah.
So and then there's other parts, where it's a little bit different. Like here in Uganda, it's language, definitely. But because they haven't had as much movement, they haven't had as much as a melting pot in that sense. They've been more isolated because they're in the center, of Africa for the most part. So people can see and say, oh, you're from this region of the country just by looking at you, right? So they can see some physical traits,
right.
like tiny changes in physical traits, and they can say, oh, you're Bachiga, you're this, you're that. So it's a little bit different, right? And then other places, you're categorized based on religion, right? So certain places in the Middle East, certain places in North Africa, certain places even in Europe, right? You're categorized, your ethnicity is based on religion.
Yeah.
So imagine that, right? Imagine it being the language that you speak that defines who you are,
right.
defines what group you're part of, right? Or let's imagine it's religion, right? So the religion you have is what categorizes you as this ethnic group or that ethnic group, right? That's all throughout Europe, all throughout Middle East, Central Asia, right? It's what religion you have. Are you Zoroastrian? Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? Are you Buddhist? What? That's what defines you. Even in Pakistan, India, same thing. It's religion that defines you in a big way, right? So imagine if you're based on that. So it's all arbitrary is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah,
if you see, the systems are different in every country, which means it's all arbitrary. So we're just dividing ourselves as humans, constantly dividing and then dividing and then dividing. When really we're all human and we're all the same.
Yeah, we gotta stop with the division. We're all one human race. We have to embrace it. There's only one race. It's the human race. That's all we need to be talking to people about. That's what we need to be embracing. And that's the message in this vlog today. Well, that's the end of the vlog.
Almost. Genetics. As soon as people start talking about genetic crap, I've heard a lot of ignorance out there. So before you start talking about genetics, just so you know, there's more genetic variation within ethnic and racial groups. Percentage-wise, there's more variation than there is between ethnic groups and and racial groups and stuff like that, right? So just keep that in mind as well. We're all the same people, right? We're all human beings. We're all Homo sapiens. We're not different races. We're not aliens.
Yeah, that's true.
As you can see, we can have beautiful children together. Like, we're all humans.
We're all humans.
In case you didn't know how that works.
Homo sapiens, right? That's what we are.
Be proud of it.
Yeah.
Be proud of it.
So thank you guys for watching this video. Find our day-to-day vlogs in the Pearl of Africa and our relocation, our videos on YouTube, Facebook. No. It's
a lot of places.
Yes, it's Facebook, TikTok, as well as
Name a place
Instagram.
and we'll be there.
Right, Familia Pablanu. Find us, watch, like, share, subscribe, and please don't skip ads. We appreciate it.
Show some love.
Yeah, and
show some love. Click on those ads when they pop up. You don't have to do much with them. Just click on them. Just click on them.
Our new movie is coming out, Valentine's Day, My Love from Another Land. Watch the trailer on there, on our YouTube page. Yes, and come see us in the movie theater for the premiere, red carpet premiere, and keep an eye out for a global release of My Love from Another Land coming up soon. What else? Well, that's all we have today. But until next time, live vicariously through us in the warmth of the Pearl of Africa. Yes, thank you so much. Until next time. You can enjoy. Bye. Adios.
Ciao.